Emerald Spotlight series. Today we're going to be talking to Donna. A little bit about Donna. Donna is the founder of Baines College Consulting, LLC. She is an accomplished entrepreneur, advocate, and champion for empowerment of small business and education. With a decade of success in entrepreneurship, she has become known for her unwavering commitment to empowering women and underserved youth to pursue higher education and meaningful careers. Let's see if we can connect with Donna this time. Let's keep on reading her bio. Donna partners with nonprofits such as the Women of the Dream Fund organization to offer college and career planning curriculum. Through her innovative program and initiatives, Donna has supported countless individuals in navigating college admission and financial aid, while also championing small businesses and promoting economic growth in her community. So she does a lot. Luckily, Donna is serving her second term in the Wenonah Board of Education.
Yeah.
Recently, Donna published a guide to high school students and parents to create a life skill and plan for the transition into college career. Can you see me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Can you see me?
I can see you and I can hear you. Yep.
Awesome. So it'll probably fix itself later. I wonder if people can see both of us.
I can see both of us.
Okay. So let's continue.
Okay.
So even this is gonna be funny. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Not me, but let's say everybody else, because I know a little bit about you. But let's
hi Myrtleyn, it's so good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And for everybody that's joining us, I can't really see who's in our life, but my name is Donna Baines. I am your Mrs. New Jersey American 2024. And a little bit about me, I'll start by sharing some of the favorite parts of me. I was born in Texas, raised in Idaho, and relocated here to New Jersey about 20 years ago. So I planted roots here, and New Jersey is what I call home. And this is where I met my husband and raised my 3 daughters. So I am a girl mom, and I've been married for 13 years. We just celebrated our anniversary this month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a business owner. I'll own and operate Baines College Consulting. And this year we're celebrating 10 years of entrepreneurship.
Awesome.
That's a little bit about me.
You do a lot. So what motivated you to become a college consultant? How did that all even started?
So yeah, I started my business about 10 years ago. But my entire career for the past 22 years is in college admissions and financial aid. So I started working in the admissions office at my university when I was a student, a work study student actually. And I was taking other kids on tours and showing them the university. And my career just grew from there. And I've held various corporate positions. I climbed the ranks very early on in my career. Worked as a regional and national director of admissions in 8 states around the country, hiring directors and admissions people, training them the ins and outs of working and recruiting students. And then 10 years ago, like I said, I started my business. It was not planned per se. It came unexpectedly when my second daughter was born and diagnosed with a really rare blood disease that caused her to have to go through months and months of chemotherapy and a bone marrow transplant. I could not maintain a corporate job jet setting all over the country anymore. And so I had been previously helping students in my church as a charity to navigate college admissions and financial aid. So it sort of just grew through word of mouth, and from her bedside while taking care of her, I started putting together my business plans and my website, and one client my first year turned into 2 the second, and it just continued to double and grow. And this year we're having another incredible year. I'm so excited. I'll be back in the classroom starting next week with 4 different high schools in Camden.
Okay, so you're back in the high school, but when you were in the high school, how did you like communicate it with them? How is the whole process to teach them or help them with their college choices and career, and then financial aid and all this good stuff?
So like I said, I've been doing this for 22 years and I love working with teenagers. I think that they are in a place in their life where they're transitioning into adulthood and they're approaching this really serious, big, life-changing decision, right?
Yeah.
And making the decision of what to pursue for a career and where to go to college and the money that they have to invest and their families have to invest in that. It's such a big and important decision that my method is to really empower them to drive that process. And so we do a lot of career exploration in the junior year of high school, personality assessments, self-awareness activities, because college is the vehicle. It's not the end result. That's not the end goal. College is going to get us to what we want to do and what we want to be in the world, right? And at 16 and 17 years old, that's a really heavy decision and a really big thing to figure out. So I don't tell them what to do. I just help them realize it and discover it.
Figure out what they really want to do.
Yeah.
A hard thing to do.
But
I tried with my kids, trying to like help them figure out, especially I think my oldest one, I used to like have her like do a list, and she just didn't like me telling her to make a list of things that she likes, and it's very frustrated for them to like figure that out. How do you feel like you accomplished to help them figure that out?
Self-awareness is an exercise in inward, right? You know, when you really want to learn about yourself, you've got to spend time exploring, you know, how you see yourself, how other people see you, and how you want the world to see you. And sometimes it just goes back to like thinking about childhood and your hobbies and your interests. And I like to ask students about what they do when they're not in school or doing a sport or working a job. Like, what are they passionate about? And that usually gives us a lot of clues about what they might be good at in a career, right? So a lot of my engineering students loved playing with Legos as kids. And that's what I find, you know, is a common theme among them. Some of my students that pursued dental really like artwork and ceramics and things like that. So I find, because I've done this for so long now, I find commonalities among students. And my job, sometimes it's a process of elimination, right? You've got so many colleges and so many careers. How do you know what you want to do? So I present them options and teach them, you know, that it's okay to say, no, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. And then we just pivot and move in whatever direction might appeal to them. And it's okay to change their mind. You know, a lot of times kids go to college undecided. I don't encourage that, because it's much harder to get your degree in 4 years when you go undecided. But I do teach them that it's okay to change your mind. Make a plan, but also have a plan B, right?
Backup plan. How about for those kids that are like really good at certain things, like really good at math, but they don't want to like do anything with math? Like some kids are really artistic, but they don't want to do anything with arts. Like, how do you figure that out?
I don't figure it out. I let them figure it out. And I just give them.
But what do you give them to help them figure it out? Like what type of like things? Because I think
assessments,
like assessment online, and or do you ever like take them out to places to see if they kind of like that?
All of those things. So we do personality assessments. One of my favorite personality assessments is the Briggs-Myers 16 personalities. Have you ever done that one?
I have not.
Okay. It's a very common and popular personality. It's a psychological assessment. It's actually used by many of the top Fortune 100 companies in their hiring process. And it helps individuals to understand their unique personality type, and it tries to categorize them into one of 16 different personalities. And then based on that personality, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, whether you're intuitive or sensitive, and whether you are a closer or a prospector, these types of character traits tend to lend themselves to certain career types.
Right.
So based on that assessment, that's one level. We might introduce a few career options. And with the introduction of careers, we go deep. We don't just say, okay, do you want to be a lawyer? We talk about what is a lawyer? What do they do day to day? We watch videos. We look at how much money they make, how long they have to go to school in order to become a lawyer, and whether or not they really have the desire to run that marathon of going to school for more than 4 years. So that's just one example. We do also a strengths finders assessment. I do something called a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Again, these are business practices and principles that I learned in my corporate setting.
Awesome. It sounds so interesting, and it is so like important, because it is hard for kids to figure this out, and you have like a great method to help them figure it all out. And I like how you showed, like, okay, we picked this, okay, let's look into it and see what exactly people that work in that area do and what other options, because sometimes, lawyer is such a broad thing. You could be a lawyer for like so many different things, like real estate and other
and again,
things to be a lawyer for. So you kind of like expand on those things.
And I like to emphasize that it's okay if you change your mind. If you try it and you don't like it, and you change your mind, that's okay. At least you've done the work to know yourself and know whether or not you feel comfortable saying yes or no to something. And that's a really important life skill that students that age don't always have. They're used to other people telling them what to do and making decisions for them. So just getting them to that place of saying yes and no is part of the magic in the method.
That's awesome. I can really tell that you love what you do, and you're like what I tell and everything that you're telling me. Very, very amazing work that you're doing, and very necessary. Now let's talk about nationals. How do you feel when you finally got to nationals? Okay, you're gonna go from your career now to the pageant.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because you went to national representing New Jersey.
Yeah.
When you got there and you got to meet all the ladies at national, how was that feeling?
Oh, there were so many feelings that I felt like a student again. And I was just trying to learn and take it all in, and being around so many other beautiful women that are educated and accomplished and kind. That was so refreshing to be among women, like-minded women who wanted the same things. They're pursuing the same things that I'm pursuing, whether it's entrepreneurship or service or champion for a cause and fundraising. We have so many things in common. And in my pageant experience at nationals, for rehearsals and on stage, I was between Mrs. Nevada and Mrs. New Mexico, and sitting with them and spending so much time with them, I just knew I had made lifelong friends. And it was a special experience that I think every woman deserves to have, because now I can say I have a girlfriend in 48 states.
That's awesome. I'm glad you got to go and experience this. Now, after you finished national, what is something that you wish you would have known before you got to nationals?
I wish I would have known how dark the hotel is. And we talked about this because when you're trying to take pictures, not having good lighting, my pictures, I wanted to have a lot of good pictures and memories of that experience. And
I could get that because I love pictures. This is like my thing. I love pictures, and you want like really good quality.
Yeah, and thankfully I did, pay for the professional photography. But there was like one of my favorite gowns that was given to me by a sponsor. I didn't get a good photo in that gown, and I have some regret about that. But otherwise, I really went to nationals. I felt really prepared. I hired a coach myself.
Yeah.
In fact, I had coaches for both my state and national pageant.
What other
Um,
names do you
yeah.
for your coach?
So my state coach was Salon Booth Grooms, and she's a former Mrs. New Jersey, and she was amazing. And then my nationals coach was Michaela Eppers, and she is the former Mrs. America and former Mrs.
Okay.
Indiana. And she was remarkable. Like, I really felt prepared for nationals.
What is something that you will change, that you would change from nationals, that you feel like I would change that? Like I will change something that I did or something that I wore, something like that. What is something that you feel like you would have changed if you could?
I might have packed more clothes. I never have that problem. Like, I usually have more than enough things to wear, but
Yeah.
somehow I managed to get 10 days worth of outfits into 3 suitcases, including my costume. And at times I was like, oh no, I'm going to run out of things to wear. I didn't, but I
Oh, thank God.
literally wore every single item that I brought and all my shoes. And so I didn't give myself a lot of options, which maybe is okay. But I think I would have packed at least one more suitcase of things.
Well, one whole suitcase, not just we're gonna
Yeah.
say one more
No,
outfit
no.
or two.
I think
Suitcase.
I like having options because,
Yeah.
sometimes I like to make last minute choices and just go with the mood, and I had to really stick to my plan because I had it lined out exactly what I was going to wear every day for every event. And what I didn't anticipate was that everybody was changing their outfits so many times a day that I was staying in the same dress sometimes when other people were changing. And I thought, oh man, this would have been a great opportunity to wear another outfit.
Yeah. Yeah. Just getting more stuff next time. So that's a note there. Get more stuff. Get a good lighting
Yeah.
because it's dark in the hotel. Now, when you were on stage on the actual night, how do you feel knowing that your husband and your kids were there to support you? How was that feeling of being on stage and like fulfilling your dream of being on the Mrs. America stage?
It's one of those moments that you will remember for the rest of your life, and your kids will remember. My husband got to walk me on stage. That was really special. And so I felt accomplished. I felt confident. I felt blessed and humbled and just grateful. I mean, that was the same stage that Elvis Presley performed on. Like, that is amazing to me. The people that my father looked up to and sang his songs to me as a kid, and I was on that stage. It just felt like a full circle moment in my life, because if you know my story, 10 years ago, we dealt with so much tragedy.
Yeah.
And life was just turned completely upside down in 2014. That to be on the Mrs. American stage in 2024, it's like
You would have never thought.
no,
right?
no. And so it was a dream, definitely a dream come true, a dream that I didn't even know I had.
Yeah. It's amazing how was, like, now that we're talking about the family, like how was their role in your how in your pageant life? How did the your family play a role in your pageant life? Because you have a lot to do with your job.
Yeah.
And your daughter that's going through all this, and then you have other girls too.
Yeah. Look, my state coach joined the call. Hi, Salon.
Hi.
We were just talking about her. I don't know if she was here for that. So my family is part of everything I do. because I'm passionate about my work and passionate about my projects and my hobbies, there is no line between my work and my projects and my family. Like, it's all enmeshed together. And maybe that's not healthy. I don't know. I know that in my corporate life, I really believed in a work-life balance. And when I was at home, I was at home. And when I was at work, I was at work. And the two never mixed.
Right.
I'm living a very different life now where I do something that I love and it comes naturally. So, and my family knows that I love what I do and I'm happy. And so I have a lot of flexibility and I can take a business call while I'm, getting my kids ready for school, or I can be at a soccer game working on my website or preparing for a pageant. And I think one thing that we've learned as a family is that, the love of your family is the most important thing in the world. And if I can take them with me anywhere, I will. So, and I try.
They were all in Vegas. That was so cool.
Yeah, they all came to Vegas and they had a great time. They got to go explore the city more than we did, but I think they had a good time. I think my husband was ready to go home though, and
Missing you.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to do another stage appearance for a pageant.
You did so well. You guys look so good on stage.
Oh, thank you.
So, as we are like almost wrapping up, tell me what are things that you want to accomplish as Mrs. New Jersey America that you haven't accomplished as of yet?
Well, I have a long list. Professionally, I really want to be able to help more young people find their path, whether it's career or college. Most of my platform has to do with the future generations and children and their health and their education and their happiness. So I want to get my workbook that I publish in more people's hands. I'm donating 40 workbooks next month to students in Camden to help them do that college and career exploration. As the holidays approach, we will be doing another pajama drive for the Children's Hospital. That was a huge success last year. That is something that's super meaningful.
Really cool.
Yeah, and that's something that's super meaningful to us. Spending so much time in the hospital with our daughter, it's really nice to have something other than a hospital gown, like a nice comfy set of pajamas as a patient. So that's definitely on my agenda. And this month particularly, September is a really important month because this is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Hispanic Heritage Month and HLH Awareness Month. So all three things touch me and my family. And so next week I will be doing a interview with the folks at Sobi. Sobi is a pharmaceutical company that is developing one of the very first drugs for the rare disease HLH. It was not a medication that was available when my daughter was sick, but I wish it was because it is much less toxic than chemotherapy. So I have the unique and awesome opportunity to speak to the makers of this medication and the team Sobi about what it means to be a patient and a caregiver, and to be Hispanic, and some of the disparities even in the medical world, and how, for us, my daughter is of mixed races, being Costa Rican and African American. Yeah. We were told that her treatment plan was going to be more difficult because she needed a bone marrow transplant, and children or patients of mixed race have a harder time finding a donor than Caucasian people do. So that was a really hard truth to swallow. So one of my missions this year is to keep getting the word out there to our BIPOC community that we need people to donate bone marrow and join the registry. People between the ages of, I think, 19 and 40 are ideal donors, and our donor was a 19-year-old girl attending college in California. Her name is Melissa, and she saved our daughter's life. So
how easy is to donate? How's the process? Do you know a little bit about it?
I do. In fact, if you go on my Instagram page, there will be some information. There's already a QR code and a link to join the National Marrow Donor Registry. But joining the registry is as simple as a cheek swab. So they give you these giant Q-tips, and you swab your cheeks and send it in.
Yeah.
And if it turns out that you are a match for a patient that you could save their life, then you will have to have a procedure to extract the bone marrow. Now, that procedure can vary from patient to patient, depending on whether or not they're just collecting stem cells, peripheral stem cells, or if they actually need to go into the bone marrow. So, but I can tell you that my daughter's donor said that she would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would too.
That's awesome. Do you keep in contact with her?
Yeah. We, when after you give bone marrow, you have to wait 1 year because you don't know what the outcome is going to be with the patient.
Right.
So that was a long year waiting to meet her and to be able to finally say thank you to her. But when we did finally get to meet her when my daughter was about 2 years old. We met in New York City during the 5K, right in Times Square. And try not to get emotional. It was like meeting somebody that you've known your whole life. I don't even know how to explain it. She's been like instant family to us. And my daughter, now that she has the same DNA as her donor, it's been kind of interesting, like the parallels and the similarities between them, because it's like, the DNA stores memory and preferences for things. And so it's just been remarkable. And Melissa is, Melissa is like family to us forever, and her family.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's amazing that you did that, and then to get to meet her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's been so amazing talking to you. You have so much knowledge and so much to give. I am very happy for you. And just to wrap up, before we finish, tell us what is something that you will want to give, like an advice to everyone. What is something that in your lifetime that you think is like good advice in general, or something that you carry with you to motivate you?
I think if I could give a piece of advice to anybody, including my daughters, because that's so important to me, is that it's so important to face your fears, because fear will keep you in a place where you won't grow and you won't achieve your goals if you are fearful. And so that's part of the reason I decided to do a pageant, is because the idea of getting on stage and being judged and interviewing, it scared me a little bit. And that's when I knew, okay, you need to do this. So if it scares you a little bit, it might be worth the risk. And I'm not saying go out and practice risky behavior.
Right.
I'm not going to promote that to my teenagers. But I do want you to face your fear, because someone once said to me that fear stands for false evidence that appears real. And our mind has a tendency to make up scenarios, and we are just afraid of the unknown. And even though I've been afraid to do things in my life, when I've had the courage to just pursue it, I've learned that what I was afraid of really isn't that scary. And it's made me feel stronger and braver, and encouraged me to even go further and do more. So face your fears. That's my big
fear. That's right. Step out of your comfort zone. Face your fears. Don't let it hold you back. Like you said, your mind just goes into like a negative point. Like, oh, what if this happen? Like everything negative will be replayed. Throw those things out and go ahead and face your fear. Don't do any risky behavior, like you said.
Yeah.
So don't do anything that will hurt you physically. or emotionally hurting anybody else. But do face your fear, do go out there and step out of your comfort zone like we're doing right now.
I'm so proud of you and this series that you've put together. I've gotten to know some of the people that you've interviewed and the businesses there in Merchantville, and it is such a beautiful community that you're building online and a network of people that are supporting each other. So I just want to say I'm so proud of you, and I'm so thankful for you, because I know even you said that you had a fear of speaking in public, and look at you, you're interviewing people now.
Yes, I am pretty much like an introvert who wants to be a little bit more extrovert. So here I am, but I have like so many ideas that I like to play out with, and I just put myself out there and just step myself out of my comfort zone, like I'm doing right now. So thank you so much for talking to me. It's been fun. I hope that once I save this video, I can see you, because I totally didn't see you. The entire time I'm like looking at myself, so I'm hoping that once I save it, like I can see you.
And hey, thank you for coming out to Vegas and supporting all of us out there too. I have to say that being there for 10 days and all of the time without your family and just being on a strict schedule, what it meant to see a familiar face, I can't even put into words. And like, I'm just so grateful for you showing up and supporting.
Thank you. I was so glad to be there. I know that I've like, since I started doing pageants, like I've never got to win the big title to go and compete. But I always wanted to go and support the queens that won, and I didn't have the opportunity to do so. So I was very glad to be there, even though I didn't experience everything that you guys did. But to be there and just like help you guys in anything that I could. So thank you.
It was meaningful. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be publishing this live on Instagram, and then I'll share it also on my YouTube channel. So make sure you follow me and follow the YouTube channel and follow Donna. If you have any questions about kids graduating high school, make sure you reach out to her. She has a lot of information about it.
Thank you, Myrtle.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.